That's right. You know, it's like when you finally hear the voice of the Father and you hear what He actually, how He sees you, and you behold how He sees you in the face of Jesus, listen, that'll make you sit down.
Sit on His lap.
It'll make you sit down. For me, for a while, I wrestled with Him about it. Not so, Lord.
Yeah.
Can't be.
Yeah.
Can't be.
Right. You don't hear it the first time and go, oh yeah, sure.
Some people do, but for me, I'm a stubborn guy.
Yeah.
I had too much knowledge of Scripture, and I say knowledge, not revelation. I had too much knowledge of the letter of Scripture that when I finally heard Him, not so, Lord. How can that be? You feel like you're crazy for thinking like that. And then He's happy to wrestle with you. Yeah, he enjoys the wrestling because He knows He's wrestling out of you the carnal mind.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
And so He's wrestling with you. He's cleansing your thoughts, man. I remember God asked me so many questions, wrestling with me about so many things, and then it became so clear to me. It actually says this in the Bible. I mean, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. It says that we behold ourselves in a mirror.
That's right.
Right? And then it says the mirror is the face of Jesus. We behold ourselves as in a mirror, in the face of Jesus. And when we see His glory, and we see it as if we're looking at ourselves in a mirror, and we see that's the glory God's ascribed to us, guess what it says? You're metamorphosed. It says you're transformed when you see that. God's ascribed glory and honor to all of us. He's ascribed it to us in the person of Jesus. When we can see Jesus and see ourselves in Jesus as if we're looking in a mirror, and we see God's good opinion of us in the face of Jesus, it transforms our lives. We begin experiencing the life of a son instead of thinking, I must bring forth the life of a son. And then we're no longer servants out in the yard thinking we got to keep the yard so hopefully God will throw us out a kid or a goat that we can, eat for ourselves. But we start realizing that we're full-grown sons and daughters in the house of God. We're not walking around the house like we don't belong there. And in any moment, He's going to come out and yell at us, what are you doing in there? We start realizing we belong in there. How do we know we belong in there? Because Jesus is in there. And Jesus is a human being. That's what Stephen said. I see the Son of Man. The Son of Man. There's a reason why Jesus is the Son of Man. Because you're the Son of Man. And so you could find the evidence of who and what you are by looking at Him. So if Jesus is in the house, that means you belong in the house.
Right.
And so now you know when the Father comes out of His bedroom and He finds you in the house, He's not going to act like you're a thief who's coming there to rob the house.
Right.
But He's going to come out and say, would you like some gravy with that biscuit? We got some barbecue in the back, man. We just made some real nice hamburgers. We got some zucchinis that are grilled perfectly, man. You want some? Listen, if we haven't put, you want, I'll go run to God. This is God talking. I'll go run to the store. Is there something you need we don't have? Listen, this is Abba.
Yeah.
I know.
This is how God really is.
Right.
This isn't how we've known God. And that's why Jesus said, John said this, no one has seen God but Jesus. Go read John chapter 1. Nobody had seen God for who He was. No one ever called God Abba.
No.
Jesus comes start calling God Abba.
Right.
And He starts calling God Abba as a human being. And He starts telling all the other people, listen, He's your Father too. Right? That changes everything, man. That changes everything. And so then you start experiencing the life of a son, and you start finding that you experience God's love for you. Then you find yourself experiencing God's peace, God's joy. It happens to you first. Then all of a sudden, you start beholding the same beauty you saw that God saw in you. You start realizing, wait a second, those people are human beings also. Oh, now you start beholding their beauty in the face of Jesus. You start seeing Christ in everyone. Right? And I don't mean that the Spirit is already living in unbelievers, but I mean you start seeing the beauty of these people is found in the beauty you see in Jesus. Now you start dealing with these people as if these are important people that are just lost.
Yeah.
These are some very valuable people that are lost. I mean, Jesus said, listen, the Father will leave 99 to go after the one.
Right.
How valuable are they to Him?
Yeah.
I mean, God could scrap the whole thing
Right.
and say, let's start over. But He didn't.
Right.
And so this is all part of the renewal of the mind. And when that thing starts happening in you, that changes everything. You start walking in the earth like a son instead of a servant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I like when you were talking about